First of all, thank you so much. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here at the JCC 36, especially now because this is the centenary of Fanon, and that's why I'm here. My name is Reco Spieght. I am from Harlem, and I am honored to share this film, which is for the film, the North African premiere of the film titled Rediscovering Fanon. And the film is a long time in the making. We started in 2007 shooting in Martinique, which is where Fanon comes from.
Mhm.
And then we shot as well in France and in Algeria, as well as in the United States, where we live.
Okay. Okay.
The purpose, I mean, it sort of was a film that started out as the idea of discovering Fanon, because Fanon is not so well known, even in the United States. I mean, in the academic world, sure, but not in
Okay.
general. The other reference that people have, throughout the society, of course, is that they know that Fanon was one of the people that inspired the Black Panther Party, and we know that history, in the United States. So those are the things that people knew, but in terms of really understanding what his role was in terms of decolonial,
Yes.
activism and revolutionary decolonial activism, most people don't know. So
Yeah.
it was my intent to do that. I was kind of inspired in particular by one of his first book,
Okay.
Renoir Must Blanc. And so it's a long story, so I'll just try and suffice it to say that I felt that that book is for somebody who's struggling with identity in, a, in an environment that's predominantly racist, that it's a way to see it in a
Mhm.
way that is not in any way um, in the way of continued humanity, because that's where we live. We live inside humanity. When we
Yeah.
are not in there,
Okay.
we're someplace else, and it's called neurosis. Fanon gives us a way to live in a productive way, in terms of an activist, actional way, which is his way.
Okay.
Yes, this is a difficult film. It's a difficult film to see. It's a difficult film to watch. I mean, the whole idea of living in an environment, in a racist environment, is toxic. It's not an easy place to be. We all need safe spaces for humanity to bloom and blossom, and for people to just be. So, in the zone of people that are becoming actionable, like even today, there was a manifestation here in Tunis, and I was just in it, and right away I understood what a safe space feels like. Fanon is that same opportunity for us to find a way with understanding to analyze what is going on, and to understand that there's a space and a place, starting with being actionable, being furthered by understanding that there is such a thing as revolutionary violence, that colonialism and decolonialism by definition are violent. So
Mhm.
the necessity of people who are oppressed by that is to find the right handle, and then and move, like just moving in the street together. That's what we do. So I mean, I felt like, and in terms of this particular film, the question is asking that. It has not been easy to bring this film. As I said, it took 17 years,
Yeah.
because it was very difficult, for people who want to support such a film. And right now, in the United States in particular, a film that criticizes our current administration, that talks about the iniquities of this administration and previous administration, where this whole idea of people being objectified, George Floyd, where people are attacking the actual Capitol. They just go
Yeah.
and attack it. That when you bring that to the fore, and show that to people, it becomes something that you don't, if you're a programmer, unlike JCC, if you're a programmer, you might just say, well, maybe not this year. We won't have that film this year.
Ah,
JCC did not do that, and I am so
okay.
thankful. Um,
Yeah.
yes, Farid Bobdir, somebody that I met in the context of the African Film Festival in the United States. I talked to him. He's the reason that we're here. So
Okay.
I'm just, I can't tell you. I mean, I can't even tell you how happy I am for this North African premiere of Rediscovering Fanon. And thank you for being
You're welcome.
interested. One of the lessons of La Dame de la Terre that Fanon introduces is that there's a role for the intelligentsia. And that role is to bring a critique and a spotlight on the activities of the activities that are being perpetrated in the capitals, in the places where colonialism, decolonialism persists. So the role of a film, especially in the context of what we call third cinema, is to critique, is to raise questions, is to create a dialogue with people where people start to think and question and look at institutions in a way that is exposing the contradictions. I mean, the whole point that Fanon himself grew to is that what are these three things? Fraternity, no, it's liberty, fraternity. What are the three French things you guys are supposed to be? It's liberty, fraternity. No, fraternity is last.
Equality,
Yeah,
Equality.
equality,
equality,
Quality. Yeah.
equality,
Yeah.
brotherliness, and
and fraternity.
Fraternity. Yeah.
Yeah. So what he's saying, that's I'm not finding that. He thought that way as a young guy and volunteered, to go and fight with the Free French. But soon, just being exposed to what the metropole is like and,
Okay.
and experiencing that white gaze, he
Okay.
woke up and found that there was a role for him, like there's a role for all of us. And
Yeah.
there's a role for film in particular. I mean, fine, wonderful stories are great.
Okay.
But I think that there's a bigger role, and that's what we at Third Cinema, it's activist cinema, to be able to raise questions, to be able to make people think, even question the theses of the film, whatever, because you leave with a better understanding. And our closing scenes of Rediscovering Fanon looks at the importance right now of the Palestinian movement of a free Gaza. And so if we're unaware of this reblossoming of apartheid in Gaza, this way of dehumanizing people, of killing young kids, of, of denying them a childhood, it's an evil enterprise. And so this button that I'm wearing is about a movement to find, again, a safe space for kids to have in an intolerable situation. For them to have a childhood, why should they be denied a childhood? A circus, as
Okay.
such, is a way to really bring back the joy, the freedom of just being a kid. You know what I mean? Why should something they had nothing to do with be able to block them and deny them the safe space that childhood deserves and warrants? So this button is really about an homage to this
the circus,
yeah,
the
this
free
circus
circus,
that's actually making a safe space available for
not
young kids
stick space for kids.
in Gaza.